Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday League to Champions League. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have a very important match. We are in the semi-final of the Conference League against AZ Alkmaar from Holland. In terms of our recent matches, it's been a little bit of a struggle. We did win the second leg quite comfortably against AIK. Ibrahima Mendes managed to get 2 goals in that game. He finally got going again, and unfortunately, he did pick up a knock, so he hasn't actually played since. We unfortunately lost on penalties against Leicester in what was a ridiculous cup tie. Um, there was a penalty in the first half for both sides, both of which were converted. Mendes got injured in that game. Durrami got sent off for Leicester. We had 2 goals disallowed. Then they had a goal disallowed in extra time, and then we had a man sent off in extra time as well. It was everything that could have happened in that game did happen, and in the end, unfortunately, Milivojevic missed our last penalty as Leicester converted all 5 of theirs. So that was the end of that. But I think we've done really well to get to the semi-final of the FA Cup, and it certainly gives us plenty of scope to be able to build on performances like that. We've just played Burnley in the Premier League as well, and we lost 2-0, and we didn't play very well in that game, it has to be said. They scored 2 goals in 2 minutes in the second half, and it just completely derailed us. So, after that phenomenal run of form that we had, where we were unbeaten in all competitions in, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, in 11 matches, 12 if you count the Leicester game as a draw, we've then lost against Burnley. So we're going into today's game with a point to prove. It's on the 1st of May, which under normal circumstances is my birthday. So let's see if we can get a birthday victory here. It would be absolutely brilliant if we could go in to the second leg with an advantage, but this is going to be a much tougher game. Slavia Prague just beat Fiorentina last time out, so they were 3-0 up after the first leg. They scored an extra time winning goal in the 121st minute, and that they lost that game 4-2, but that 121st minute goal got them through. So I think they're going to be a dangerous side, and obviously the Portuguese club are also going to be dangerous as well. They've scored plenty of goals along the way, as have we. We've actually got the record for the most goals ever scored in the Conference League competition. Obviously, we had the qualifiers as well, and we have scored 50 goals now in the competition. Let's see if we can knock in a few more, though. We're against AZ Alkmaar, and we're going in with Mourinho in goal, Spedicato, Branthwaite, Eisner, and Davis at the back. Navarro, Doyle, and Toma in midfield. Toma is finally fully fit after his injury. And we have Polidoro and Iglesias out wide, and Mikel up front. Unfortunately, Abaya isn't quite fully fit to play today. He's still carrying the knock, but he is on the bench. Falkenberg is also struggling for fitness, but he is on the bench. Swiderski and Mendes both injured. Prieto and Marquez obviously unregistered, so we're a little bit short on the bench, unfortunately, but we'll just have to deal with it and see how we get on. I think we're certainly capable, but it's going to be a much tougher test, this one, I think. And we want an early goal. We want that quick start like we've had in a couple of the European games previously. So fingers crossed that that will go in our favour. We want to see a marked improvement. We definitely do. We were absolutely terrible in the Burnley game. There is signs of slight unrest in some of the players as well. I'm not entirely sure what's caused it. None of them have actually come to me asking about like different things. But I think the FA Cup defeat against Leicester was a bit of a blow to confidence. But we have to reset ourselves. We have to go again. Obviously, we're sat in 11th place in the league at the minute. We still have that top half chance. Here is Iglesias with a corner. Whips it in, looking to the near post. It's cleared by Shooten. Tommy Doyle picks it up, and Lucian Toma, oof, what an effort. Just over and wide over the corner of the goal. Owusu Aduro with the delivery forward. Mihailovic looks to get into it, as does the player that I couldn't pronounce there. Here's Doyle. Branthwaite picks it up, and Spedicato with support ahead of him. Polidoro moving forward down this left-hand side. Big opportunity maybe knocking here. Plays it across. Lucian Toma wins it. Iglesias knocks it out to Davis. And Lucian Toma off the crossbar. Polidoro arrives onto it. And he he reacted first. The defence didn't know what was going on, and Polidoro has put us ahead here in this European semi-final first leg. It was a bit of a strange one, really. Toma did really well to get the strike away in the first place, laid off by Davis off the crossbar, and Polidoro just reacted first, charged in, and managed to knock it in to the back of the net. And we have our advantage. One shot on target, one goal. That's what we want here every single time. Here's Oscar Gill looking for Pavlidis. Spedicato does well to clear. Polidoro tries to knock it further away, but only finds Oscar Gill again. It was a poor clearance from Polidoro. Holman with the ball into Pavlidis, and Marinia with a very good piece of goalkeeping. Pavlidis, incidentally, there was offside, but Marinia wasn't to know, and it was a very good save. In the other game, VTSC 0, Slavia Prague 0 as well. Obviously, as well as focusing on this game, we've got to focus on the other semi-finals so that we know who we're going to be coming up against. And the Portuguese side have just taken the lead. Vivaros, it would appear, has scored just after the half an hour mark. So far, quite an even game in this one. We have the majority of the ball, and we've had more chances, but both sides with just the one shot on target. But we've had 8 attempts to their 1. We just need to press on a little bit in this second half. We'll tell the lads to keep it up. We've played quite well in that first half, but with just the one goal advantage, anything can happen. We need to be on point here in the second half. Still possession reasonably equal. Not too many highlights looking like they're going to appear at the moment. Outside creating an awful lot in terms of on-target efforts in front of goal. And as the hour goes by, still no highlight in this second half. We still have our advantage though, which is very important. Branthwaite and Doyle both on yellow cards. Branthwaite not having a particularly good game either. And again, another 10 minutes rolls by. AZ have actually had another shot on target, so they actually have an advantage right now, but we are still creating the majority of the opportunities. We are struggling though to be anything of a creative force at the moment, and it looks like we've got an injury. And Miko, that's the last person that we needed to get injured. We'll bring Falkenberg on. I mean, Falkenberg's hardly played recently. We're struggling with fitness here as well, but I don't want to do too much. We've got Manchester United in one day, so we're playing this on the Thursday, and we play United on the Saturday, and then we've got the second leg. Here's Polidoro. Free kick here. Dangerous position. This would be massive if he could knock it in. Polidoro with the strike. It's over the wall, and that is a phenomenal free kick. What a huge, huge goal in this semi-final. Polidoro with a thunderous free kick into the back of the net. The keeper had no chance. What a lovely strike from him. And the man from Dundee United has been brought over, and he is firing now. And that is 2 shots on target and 2 goals for us. As you can see, fitness is shot, but wowee, what an important free kick goal that was from Polidoro. We're 2-0 up to go into the second leg of this semi-final. The Portuguese side, VTSC, won by a goal to 0. We've got a very tough game against Manchester United coming up in 2 days' time, and with player fitness as it is, we're going to struggle to field a decent side. And then we've got 4 days until the second leg against AZ Alkmaar, and we're not going to have the United game in today's episode. We're going to come back for that second leg. It is going to be close. Mikkel is out for 3 to 5 weeks. That could be a huge blow to our chances. He's been outstanding this season. Brandon Abaya is back in a few days' time, but obviously Ibrahima Mendes is out for 2 weeks still as well, so we're struggling for a striker. Oh, dearie me, it's not the timing that we need for these injuries, but it's been a very long season, as you can appreciate, with everything that we've been going through with European games, and obviously the longer FA Cup run as well. We've got United coming up off camera, we've got the second leg against AZ, we've got Bournemouth, Watford and Villa to play. I don't think now, with the injury to Meikle, that we'll get top half. If we can finish 11th, 12th place, maybe even 13th, it's still a very good season. We were favourites for relegation, remember? So I think we'll cool the talk of the top half finish now. We're going to focus in on this European run and see what we can do in these remaining Premier League games as well. But I'm going to do United off camera and then we'll come back for that second leg and see if we can book ourselves a European final. Okay then, here we go for the second leg against AZ Alkmaar. We hold a 2-0 advantage from the first leg. In the other semi-final, the Portuguese side VTSC are ahead 1-0 against Czech side Slavia Prague. I still think we've got a big opportunity. We lost 1-0 to Manchester United last time out. It should have been a lot more. We got absolutely battered. And obviously we're struggling for a forward now with Mendes and Mikel injured. Mendes is somewhat back to fitness, but he is still struggling. So for this second leg, Mourinho in goal, Anning, Branthwaite, Milivojevic and Davis at the back, Navarro, Muller and Toma in midfield, Polidoro, Iglesias and Abaya up front. Abaya struggling overall for fitness, but he is fit enough to start this game. Otherwise, we're not looking too bad fitness-wise, but the bench is leaving a lot to be desired. We're really struggling for options now, and as I was saying before, it's been a very long season and it's starting to catch up with some of our players, unfortunately. We've had a few more injuries, but hopefully we can just do enough to get over the line, especially in this semi-final. We did well to win the first leg, and we deserve to win the first leg, but we're away from home here for the second leg. It's going to be tough. Fingers crossed we can get a good start. Early suggestions say from kickoff AZ have had the majority of possession. VTSC have had an early injury in their game, as have Slavia Prague now, both of them with early injuries there. So at 0-0, it doesn't matter to us as long as we don't lose this game. Branthwaite with an early yellow card, not ideal. We need to try and keep the yellow cards down as well, just purely so that we don't have any suspensions for the final, should we get through. Quite an even game though, both sides creating a similar amount of opportunities so far. But AZ here with the first to potentially have a highlight. Pavlidis challenging with Anning, and that is poor from Anning. And Pavlidis is in, and that is a great block from Branthwaite there. And we survive that first onslaught from AZ. Mihailovic with the delivery. Mir wins the header. It's a good save from Mourinho. We're trying to get out. Mijnan, Iglesias has brought him down, and it's a penalty. And it's been given as well. Apparently went down very easily. But AZ with a chance to get back into the tie. And Mourinho got a touch onto it, but couldn't keep it out. And AZ are in front here. We still have our lead on aggregate, but we really need to start picking up this performance. We've really struggled in recent games, like I say. We did well in the first leg, but we need to pick this up. We're not playing particularly well, and AZ are creating all the opportunities. And our lack of target man with Mikel and or Mendes is certainly showing here. We have had no momentum whatsoever. As you can see by the XG table, AZ are all over us here. We need to wake up in the second half and just be a little bit creative. The fact that we've not got that central striker isn't ideal, obviously. Polidoro and Abaya are more than capable of playing up front. Falkenberg's on the bench. Mendes is on the bench, but he's not fully fit. Can we hold on to this? Are we going to struggle here in the second half? Abaya's not been in the game at all. We're going to demand more again and just hope for the best. Muller, Iglesias and Thomas struggling for fitness now. We're going to have to make some changes and get some fresh legs on. Abaya, he's had a 6.1 today, Abaya. He's been completely shocking. Mendes is going to have to come on, unfortunately. Iglesias is off for Falkenberg. Tommy Doyle's coming on for Muller. We've got no more midfield options. So Toma's going to have to stay where he is. Brentfords on a yellow card, but he's been our best player today. But he's going to have to come off and bring Eisner on for him. And I think, oh God, the lack of options for us is certainly telling here. Sean Davis can play in midfield. I think we're going to have to put him forward for Toma, and we'll bring Rhodes on, even though he's carrying a knock. But it's the best we can do in the circumstances. And here we go. Last 20 minutes. This is crunch time. VTSC have just conceded to Slavia Prague. It is 1-1 now on aggregate. In that game, we still have that 2-1 lead, but we're not creating anything here. We need to wake up. We need to hold on in these last 5 minutes. Tommy Doyle into Navarro. Now Eisner. Prince Anning to Polidoro. Oscar Gill wins it from him. Now Holman. Over the top. Pavlidis is in behind. And it's a great save from Mourinho. Rhodes just knocks it out for a corner. He had time there. He could have at least knocked it out toward the halfway line for a throw-in or something. But Mihailovic with the corner. Whips it in. And it's saved by Mourinho. He's just smashed it forward. There's no one up there. What on earth is he doing? I mean, no highlights come from it, luckily, but that was a bit of poor decision making from him. Can we hold on? This will be the first time we've lost in the whole competition. We've won every single game in the Conference League. Tommy Doyle with a corner. We've got it at the right end of the pitch. Whips it in. Eisner's header. And that is a huge relief. We score from the corner. Jens Eisner in the 93rd minute has secured this semi-final tie. It's a huge goal. It's his first of the season. And it's 3-1 on aggregate. We have secured passage to the final. And we still await news on who we play. Because Slavia Prague have won the second leg by a goal to nil. Obviously, they lost the first leg 1-0. We are in the final. We've got some tough league games to come as well. But that wasn't the best performance by any means. Slavia Prague once again scoring in extra time. We play them in the final. They've come through some tough ties, by the way, Slavia Prague. It will not be an easy game. But that is fantastic from our point of view. Ooh, that last minute goal certainly eased the nerves. We are in a European final for the first time in the series. We play Slavia Prague. Let's see what happens from there. In terms of the schedule, Slavia Prague is going to be obviously our last game of the season. We've got Bournemouth and Watford to play at home in the league, and then we've got Aston Villa away with Slavia Prague in the European final, which is 10 days later, I might add. So what we'll do, we'll get through Bournemouth and Watford. We'll come back for Aston Villa away for the last Premier League game of the season. And then we have our European final. What an achievement. Hopefully we can go all the way and beat Slavia Prague. So until then, guys, thank you very much for all your support. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. And this is Big Will, signing away.